Hello, friends. There we go. Welcome to my second round of campaign diaries. I guess is what we're calling this for now. Still looking for a name that isn't just ripping off Matt Koval directly. I'm gonna try it without music this time after the debacle that was SoundCloud ads last time. We'll see how that goes. I believe in myself and my ability to be entertaining enough without music, but we'll see. That'll do. So, last we left our heroes. I still am not taking notes for this, which is probably a habit I should get into, and I should also get in the habit of looking at the last thing that I said in the last campaign diary, but I believe that the last thing I showed anyone was... First, here's the beautiful village of Orlane, which is the town where this adventure is taking place, the town of the adventure module that I'm kind of taking all of this from. It is from the module... Oh, I should have the spoiler thing. I should have the spoiler thing up, yeah. Yeah. Not yellow, though. Or not red. It needs to be yellow. That's what I meant to say. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. There. Now my players know if they appear and they look at this video. This is obviously a spoiler for the entire adventure going on now, and it's probably safe to continue once you guys get back to Eden. And before that, consider this dangerous viewing. But yeah. So this town is from the module Against the Cult of the Reptile God, which I am just directly stealing for the most part. I haven't changed it too much. Obviously, there's key parts that have altered. If you watched the last whole 90-minute rant I did, the kind of deal with the worlds is that the original gods got banished. They were banished from this world about 60 years ago, 60, 80, 40, some even, it was an even number of years. That much I know. And so there's kind of like other powerful creatures being uplifted into that power vacuum. And this whole adventure is kind of about one of those creatures. It is the Naga known as Explicita Defilis, which is a name that may or may not change. And yeah, they're kind of posing and lying about their identity. They are claiming to be the old life god named Denala, but you know, that is a false claim. And they kind of got their root in this town by just first taking over the church and kind of corrupting its members. The head of the church, Misha, is working with this Naga out of their own free will, and everyone else is basically corrupted in some way. They are being mind controlled by Explicita Defilis. And yeah, the first scene of the last session was in this cave under the inn where they were attacked, which is the whole thing I went over in the last video. You can check it out in the VODs. Yeah, they'd like cleared out most of this, dealt with these oh shoot, I'm forgetting the name of them. The undead creatures. Do I have them named? No. Good job, me. Whatever. The undead creatures that eat the flesh of the living and turn other things into ghouls. They're ghouls. Yep. Very well. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I keep zooming in and out. They just made a change to Roll20 after years of me using it. The scroll wheel used to bring the window up and down, like this is doing now. Now you have to right-click and drag it. If you use the scroll wheel now, you zoom just in and out. And that's what that does now. So I just need to undo years of muscle memory of the scroll wheel doing a scroll wheel thing that it does everywhere. Yep. Moving on. So yeah, they kind of did everything important in here last time. So I probably should have kind of like pushed for them to finish this cave because they were convinced there was still something important here after they like cleared out. Where are my tools? Like this, they cleared out all of this last time, and they knew that there were snakes over here hiding under the sand. So they really had this all solved because this is an empty room that would have been used if someone got kidnapped in the inn attack in the previous session. And this is just a statue of the Naga that they're going to find later. So like that's fine. It's like a contextless bit of information, really. And I just put it there because the adventure says to put it there. It's fine. But yeah. They spent a long time in here just convinced that there was more to find. Sorry again. So yeah, they spent a while there, and then they left. They found an abandoned place to spend the night, deciding that they're done with the inns in this town after being attacked. They're like as the first thing. There's another alternative inn up here, which is actually a safe inn. It's totally safe to stay in there, but they opted to go stay in an abandoned farmhouse instead. I rolled a random encounter check just to see if anything interesting would happen, and it did not, which is totally fine. And that's just a I don't know, nice way to keep things feeling a little spiced up and alive, I think. I've been trying to rely on them less because running into a random encounter every like 2 days or whatever it makes it a little less impactful. So I kind of live tweak the numbers to make sure they only run into big encounters like once a kind of journey in one direction. You have icons on your hotbar. How do you do that? Yeah, that's... Oh, I literally just... Let me see if I can find a macro to pop in here. Yeah. So... Oops. Get out of here. Untitled. That's not what I want. So if you just drag this in... Wait. Oh, I have to do in bar. Okay. In bar. And Untitled is in here, and then I just renamed it, and I literally just used the Windows emotes menu, which I think is like Windows Shift. No, Windows semicolon? No. There it is. Windows Alt semicolon brings up the emoji menu. Or just Windows semicolon, one of the two. And then you just type what you want. So, you know. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Windows Alt semicolon, the power of the face. So yeah, now I have a fish. Now I have a fish in the bar. I wonder, can I just drag this off? I don't actually, yeah. Can you just, yeah, goodbye fish. Okay. Yeah, I was really happy when I found out that emoji worked down here because obviously this is a lot shorter. Like this little sun is much shorter than like weather check or like watch check. This is just like, this is an enemies encounter. I click that and it brings up all of the options in my chat. I get a little addicted to scripting in my games. Some of the best advice I can give is to like take the stuff you like and put it in your games, and I really like scripting and coding, so like I have so much just automated stuff that'll just like create things for me or like combine things into menus. It's I love the macros. Yeah, I fell in love with the macros in Roll20, even the most basic things. Yes, exactly. Just like making an attack, putting your attack in your bar is just a simple pleasure, and it only gets better from there. So yeah. After they finished up at the inn and spent the night, what have you, they went over to talk to the mayor to be like, hey, yo, I have, we got ambushed in the inn, just so you know. We like killed like 3 of them. One of them got away, and the mayor was obviously, they were already aware of this. Obviously, the constable had come and talked to them, and it was a pretty kind of slow roleplay heavy encounter in the mayor's office, just going back and forth about like the state of things and like who was in the attack, who died, who was the person who escaped. You know, does this masked cultist who attacked us, do they sound familiar to you at all? And the mayor was like, no, I have no idea who that could be. Obviously, they're trying very hard to conceal their identity. But I don't trust the church. That's like the basic piece of information that the mayor had, was like, the church, people of the church were kind of the first to get weird. And I feel like things got a little off track, probably because they suspect the mayor a little bit of being a part of the cult and kind of playing them. So they were very like critical and suspicious of the mayor. And in addition, there was a lot of kind of side role-playing stuff that was happening that I don't feel like it's my place to push it along. Although, again, one of my players did get like bored and kind of had to... It's my assumption that they got bored. Like in the middle of this house scene, they were like, okay, I gotta go to sleep. I'm just fading, you know. So I kind of think they got bored and didn't want to deal with the roleplay stuff. But, yeah. Totally happens. Ooh. He's been like having trouble finding inspiration to play the game. So I'm just not going to worry about it too much. I'm not going to try to make the game more fun for him by pushing the other players to roleplay less. Like, ultimately, I will let him figure out whether he enjoys the game or not. So, hopefully he does. I like playing with him, but if not, you know, not gonna force anyone to... I'm not gonna change my game for him, and I'm not gonna force him to play a game he doesn't like. So, yeah. His timing to leave was a little unfortunate because I dropped like a hook for him immediately after that, like 5 minutes later, and it wasn't like a hard hook. It was like the line connected to the hook that will eventually hook him, but it would have been nice for him to be there for that context. From there, the party left the mayor's house and they went off to the church to investigate there. One of them wanted to investigate something in the library, and like the only library there in town is in the church because it's a pretty small town. So they wanted that. They wanted to get some information about some other stuff. So they kind of hatched a couple of plans to do both of these things. They were going to go in with 2 groups of 2, and one group was going to try to basically find or ask about the location of the library, get in, check out some books, which didn't go well. The head priest of the church basically said, we're not going to have books on this subject that you're asking about. Our books are really just religious texts for the most part. And at the moment, I cannot allow you deeper into the church. That is for members only, which is probably a slight, like a yellow flag, but I think a reasonable thing. At least if you're not already suspicious of the church. If you are, then everything is a smoking gun, obviously. So, that kind of failed, and they were just like, all right, we're just gonna kneel here and pray until the second group comes in. The second group had a slightly more convoluted plan. One is an alchemist, and he concocted a plan to like take these like face masks basically to conceal their identity. Yes, Mike, you are whatever. Yes, Mike, you are a mod. That you are a legacy mod. I gave you that some time ago. I don't remember the context, but you're stuck with it now, Mr. Sword. So yeah. They applied these alchemical face masks to conceal their identity to appear... It doesn't change your appearance entirely to another person. You just kind of get, like, general... general stuff. So you can say, like, I put this identity concealing mask on, and now I am an elf with red hair. And you kind of get that, and you don't really get to appear as another person. You just appear different. So they applied that. One of them appeared as a boy that the mayor mentioned. A boy that came with one of the. There are two major NPCs for this arc. They kind of own the town. They're kind of the nobles that own the land here. They're from that family. The sister went missing. The brother came to investigate. When the sister first arrived, she arrived with a boy that she told no one about but the mayor. And the mayor, in turn, told the party, who's helping the brother investigate where his sister went and what's going on with the town. And so the choice to appear as that boy is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, the head priest has definitely seen that boy. The mayor has not in several days, several weeks probably at this point. The church currently has the boy because they currently have the sister. The other reason it's interesting is that the boy I'm setting up to be kind of the heir to the emperor who died, who had this vision that his family was going to be attacked by assailants, and so he ran away to try to escape that, and successfully. And then the sister found him. And this is going to kind of line up with another character in the game who had kind of a similar thing happen. They had a vision of an attack on their family. They returned to find that their family was murdered and their homes burned, and they were strung up in trees. So pretty rough. He is also an heir to this emperor, and the player knows it, and the character doesn't. So I am trying to very quickly resolve that discrepancy of knowledge, because that's really hard to play, and I think it's part of why that player feels kind of aimless right now in the game. So I want to get rid of that problem. I want to get them on the right path to figuring out what the deal with their character is. So I'm just giving a direct parallel using the precedent that he's set of I had a vision of being attacked. So giving them some kind of precognition, at least as far as assassinations go. All I got so far of that power and why they have it, but it's good enough for now. I will fill in the rest of those details later. So, one character is taking on an appearance similar to that boy, which is enough to give this head priest pause, because they are not extremely familiar with the boy, but familiar enough to be like, oh, you look really familiar, yikes. How did you escape, And so they were visually caught off guard when this character appeared wearing that face, or, a similar face. He came in being very rambunctious, wow, yeah, rambunctious, and causing a big scene, drawing the attention of everyone, which conveniently allowed the other two to kind of sneak into the back of the church after failing to do so before. But situation changed. I gave them another roll, and they rolled successfully. So again with the scroll wheel. All right. It will take me forever to get used to this new functionality. So yeah, as you can see from the remnants of the battle map, they snuck in this way, while Group A snuck in this way, got into the back, while Group B distracted the head priest in this area. And they were just checking out this. They kind of went in an unfortunate direction, because there's not a lot here. It's kitchen, dining room, and then prayer rooms. But these monks that were in these prayer rooms also know, no one's supposed to be back here. They're all members of the cult. They're all, how do you say, compromised? So as soon as people started popping open these doors, they all kicked down their doors and started getting into a fight, trying to subdue the people who were snooping around. And that fight was really fun and really funny. As soon as the head priest heard combat noises from the back, she booked it out this door and then up this way and around the corner, upstairs, basically, locking the door behind her. So the other two characters, unable to pursue efficiently, they kind of went this way and, started to help out with these folks. There was a lot of door kicking down. I don't know why, but the two who went in here, Eve and Solus, they closed the door behind them. So when Sonus, a character who was augmenting their speed with a spell, I think it's like Swift Step or something, gives him brings him up to 55 feet of movement per round, which is pretty big. He charged into the door with that, which I gave it a bonus to just checking if he could take this door off the hinges, and he passed that test with flying colors. And just steamrolled through this room and passed checks to shove everyone out of the way. It was great. A lot of monks ended up under doors in this fight, and it was wonderful. And that kind of wrapped up the end of that session. I knew that they probably don't know how much there is to this church. They know that there's a second floor. They're currently completely unaware of what is going on down here. There will be lizard folk and some amount of treasure, and probably the boy or the sister will be in here, being held there. But we'll see. We'll see if they get that far. Yeah, that kind of brings it to the end of that session. Really, there wasn't that much to talk about. There was a whole lot of roleplay, and the roleplay was a little bit dead endy. Didn't bring in immediate action or useful information, really. It was a lot of... They found out a lot of small contextual things about, the mayor, and, the mayor having kids and a husband, and they found out about the boy, but they didn't really ask about it that much. And yeah, they're, on the path to investigation and dungeon crawling, but they spent a whole lot of time telling the mayor weird stories and trying to get extra information and trying to sneak around their house and role playing with the hidden bodyguard to... I don't even remember exactly why. But yeah, so really the interesting stuff is kind of starting next session. And that's what I'm going to fill out tonight when we get to the prep section, is just filling out the enemies that are going to be in here. I think what's going to happen is Sonus kind of ran up the stairs. He sees that this door is closed and locked, so he might break it down. He might run back downstairs and get his allies. We'll see. But the head priest is going to keep running. They're basically going to go down here, just kind of get all the way around here. There's a trapdoor here that they know about that leads to their room, which wouldn't really be actually that secure. So it's an interesting architecture choice on the priest's part to put their room below a trapdoor. But that's fine. So this is the head priest's room. This is where the trapdoor from above leads, and there's also a door that leads down to the basement, which is an entire hidden mini dungeon that the players will go through. And I still need to stock all of this. So there's 6 creatures in here. I think it's 6. It's either 6 or 9. 9 is getting up there, but the adventure calls for goblins, and this is the only place where goblins appear in the adventure, so I'm just making them lizard folk. The adventure also talks about troglodytes. Here's what the adventure includes baseline. It includes troglodytes, crocodiles, lizard folk, goblins, a minotaur, snakes, a naga, and an alarm cap, a mushroom that screams. And then even going beyond that, there's a harpy in the basement of The final dungeon, it's a little all over the place. So I'm streamlining it a little bit and making it just be that the lizard folk are the minions. We don't need 4 different sets of minions, with like the townspeople, goblins, troglodytes, lizard folk. Just make it all lizard folk and townspeople. Those are the 2 sets. That's fine. That's good enough. And then like the other monsters can kind of stay. They're just like individual encounters that add flavor. I like those. But yeah. So